Hello, and welcome to this explainer. Before we even begin, before we look at a single idea together, I just want you to do something for me. Right where you are, just pause. Take a slow, gentle breath in, and now just let it out. Drop your shoulders a little bit, unclench your jaw. Today, we're going to explore something that is incredibly close to the heart, a topic that so many of us carry silently, day in and day out. We're going to talk about giving ourselves permission, true, deep permission, to finally stop fighting our own minds. So let's just ease into this together, gently and with a whole lot of compassion. Have you ever noticed something truly profound about yourself? Does your mind try so incredibly hard to protect you that it actually ends up making it harder to live your life? You know, most of the time, your mind is absolutely not trying to hurt you. It's really just trying to keep you safe. It's desperately trying to spot danger before it happens, constantly scanning the horizon so you don't get hurt. But sometimes, well, sometimes it just gets a little too good at its job, doesn't it? Section 1, the protective mind. If you're feeling exhausted today, if you feel like you are constantly on edge, constantly bracing for an impact that never quite comes, I want you to know your feelings are so valid. It is utterly exhausting to live on high alert all the time. I really need you to hear this. You are not broken. Your mind is just working overtime trying to be your shield. You see, the problem isn't that your internal alarm system exists. We literally need it to survive. The problem is that the alarm sounds when there is absolutely no danger around. Your mind starts ringing the bells, flashing the red lights, screaming at you to panic, even when you're just sitting safely in your living room, trying to enjoy a quiet cup of tea, or simply trying to fall asleep. It creates these sudden, terrifying false alarms that totally disrupt our daily peace, pulling us away from the present moment and into this terrifying, invisible future. Section 2, driving the anxiety bus. I want you to imagine, right now, that you are driving a bus down a long, winding road. It's a journey you feel like you've been on for a really long time. You have your passengers, the engine is humming steadily beneath you, your hands are holding the wheel, you're ready to move forward. And then, a voice comes from the very back of the bus. What if you make a mistake? It just hangs there in the air, a tiny, uncomfortable seed planted in your mind, right while you're trying so hard to focus on the road ahead. A few miles pass, the beautiful scenery rolls by, and the voice, it gets a little louder. What if you have a heart attack? What if a car suddenly pulls out in front of you? What if something happens to the people you deeply, desperately love? The scenarios begin to escalate so rapidly, shifting from your own safety to your physical health to the people who mean the absolute most to you in this entire world. And then, the voice asks the heaviest question of all. What if this feeling never goes away? Just let that linger for a second. That is the deepest fear, isn't it? The fear of permanent anxiety. The quiet terror that you will always feel this heavy, this trapped, this completely exhausted. At first, quite naturally, you turn around to the back of the bus. You try to answer the passenger, you reason with it, you argue, you try with all your might to just silence it. But you've probably noticed what happens next. The more you try to shut it up, the louder it screams. This exhausting cycle of arguing with your own thoughts only feeds them, making them stronger. But there is an alternative here, keeping your eyes on the road. What if you just let the passenger talk while you keep driving? Because right now, you might be paying way more attention to the noisy passenger in the back than to the beautiful unfolding road right in front of you. Section 3, the illusion of control. We spend so much time fighting these thoughts, trying to delete them, trying to physically push them out of our heads. But there is a very reassuring reality here, and it's this. We do not choose to have these thoughts. Nobody wakes up in the morning, stretches in the warm sunlight, and says, you know what? Today, I'd like to feel terribly anxious and afraid. You didn't choose this. It is entirely automatic, and it is absolutely not your fault. These thoughts are simply uninvited guests. They show up out of nowhere, right in the middle of a perfectly fine day. And then your body joins in. You know the exact feeling. A sudden tight chest, a hard knot pulling deep in your stomach, a heavy lump resting right in your throat. That sudden, urgent need to take a deep breath because the air suddenly feels so thin. You know that heavy feeling, like something is sitting right on your chest? I want to validate that physical weight for you right now. These bodily reactions happen without your permission. You're not choosing them. They are just echoes of that internal alarm. Section 4, carrying your fear. So, if we don't choose these thoughts, and fighting them only makes them louder, what do we actually do? I want to share a really gentle, practical exercise with you. And please, Don't worry, this is not hypnosis. You are not going to lose control. In fact, most people struggling with anxiety don't need to lose control. They just need to warmly, gently reconnect with what is already happening inside them. I'd love to walk you through something called the object exercise. First, just gently bring to mind a thought that has been bothering you lately. Maybe it's about your health or your future, or perhaps a deep feeling of loneliness. Now, I want you to choose a small physical object to represent that exact thought. A smooth stone, feeling its weight in your palm. A familiar keychain. A soft little bracelet. Just anything small and tangible. And here is the slightly strange but deeply beautiful part. We aren't going to throw it away. I want you to carry it with you. Keep it in your pocket, hold it in the palm of your hand, leave it resting on your desk for a whole week. Just notice it, quietly, without fighting it. Every time you see that object, your mind is probably going to start telling you that same scary story. It's going to try to warn you. And when it does, instead of tensing up, instead of fighting it, just take a slow, deep breath. Notice the familiar tightness in your chest. Look at the object and simply say to your mind in a soft, compassionate voice, "Okay, I hear you." Just like the calm driver speaking to the passenger in the back of the bus. You're saying, "You are there, you are talking, you are worried, but I am still driving." Section 5, the price of caring. I know this isn't easy. Honestly, it can be deeply physically uncomfortable to just let fear sit beside you. We've been taught this very toxic idea that we must always think positive, that we must eradicate all bad feelings immediately if we ever want to be happy. But that is simply not how the human heart or mind actually works. Pushing pain away just makes it push back harder. Making room for your pain is a necessary, profoundly beautiful part of being human. I really want you to let this next thought sink in. The places that hurt the most are often the places we value the most. We don't grieve for things we never cared about, do we? We don't worry relentlessly about things that mean absolutely nothing to us. Your anxiety is actually pointing a flashing arrow directly toward your deepest, most beautiful values. The price of love, the price of deep connection, the price of truly caring about your life and the wonderful people in it is pain. Feeling this pain, carrying this anxiety, it does not mean you are broken. It absolutely does not mean you are on the wrong path in life. Sometimes it means the exact opposite. It proves that you have a beautiful, feeling heart and that you are fighting for something deeply meaningful. Healing doesn't start when the pain magically disappears. It starts when we are finally willing to sit gently beside it. Section 6, Finding Your Lighthouse. Let's paint a picture together for a moment. Life is so much like a vast, unpredictable ocean. Some days the water is smooth as glass, reflecting the sun perfectly. Other days, a sudden dark storm rolls in from out of nowhere and massive waves crash right over the deck of your life. When those storms hit, we spend all our precious energy trying to stop the waves. We try to push the heavy water back with our bare hands. But wise sailors know a fundamental truth. Sailors don't fight the waves. They know they can't stop the wind. They don't waste their precious strength trying to silence a storm they simply cannot control. Instead, they focus entirely on something else. They focus on the lighthouse. Because what gets them home is not the absence of the waves, it is never losing sight of where they are going. So I ask you, gently, what gets you home? Is your lighthouse your family? Is it your child? Is it someone you deeply, fiercely love? Perhaps it is your life's work, your creative passion, or your deeply held faith. I want you to identify your lighthouse, because turning your eyes toward that meaning, that is exactly how you take your life back from the storm. And as you turn toward your lighthouse, I want to whisper a very gentle truth to you. The fear is still there. True freedom is not the magical, sudden disappearance of anxiety. Tomorrow, new thoughts might show up. New intimidating waves might rise around you. And you know what? That is perfectly okay. The fear is there, but you choose to live anyway. You are stepping into a quiet, inspiring power. The passenger in the back of the bus might keep talking, and the dark ocean waves might keep rising, but you are still behind the wheel. You are still looking at your lighthouse. You are still moving forward, breath by breath. And that is where your life truly begins again. As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a warm, gentle invitation. This week, what is going to be your object? What small, tangible thing will you put in your pocket to remind yourself that you can carry your fear and still drive the bus? I am so genuinely curious to know what you choose to carry with you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this time with me today. And thank you for being so incredibly gentle with yourself.